nerds out there.
The Thomas Bryant jockstrap? Get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Ramos, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got 1. Get back!
Hey everybody, welcome into the Big Factor here on the Big Play Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Ryan Tyler. I'm back today, gentlemen. Jack O'Rourke, Nick Pannone, Rob Watson. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Good morning. How's everybody's morning starting today?
We got the game
Hump day.
back together, man. This is the first step in a while. We got all 4, the core 4.
Yeah, it feels like
Looking
forever.
forward, man.
Where'd all the time go?
Everybody have a good morning though so far?
Yeah. Chill morning.
Yeah, I had a coffee, got some tweets scheduled out. I'm ready to go here, Ryan. Big day.
All right, well then let's jump right into the news, shall we? Nico Harrison out as Mavericks general manager. The Mavericks.
Get him out of here.
What'd he do?
The Mavericks announced the dismissal of Nico Harrison as general manager and president of basketball operations yesterday on November 11th. The decision comes after a rough start to their 2025-2026 campaign, a 3-8 record, that's second last in the West again. And Mavericks, the booing of fans about Nico Harrison. You go back to February 2025. That is when Nico Harrison orchestrated the trade, sending Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis draft capital and other pieces. In a letter to the fans, Mavericks governor/owner Patrick Dumont noted, quote, "When the results don't meet expectations, it's my responsibility to act." That's a damning quote. The team's named interim general managers former Mavericks star Michael Finley and assistant GM Matt Riccardi. Before we dive into this, guys, do you remember where you were when this trade went down? Because I do. This was one of those things that I read my phone. I was actually at a bar because it came out late. It was pretty damn late.
No, it was like
And
past midnight. Yeah,
it was one of those bars. Everybody was dancing, loud music, lights, and I checked my phone, and I had to stop what I was doing and go find my buddy across the bar that was a really big basketball fan. I'm like, dude, before you read this, just know I double checked. This isn't Centel, and we were shocked.
Elite Centel work. I don't remember exactly what
I was sleeping.
Doing,
I remember
I was in the scalper's basement, actually, believe it or not, Nick.
I woke up to like so many messages from so many different group chats of people talking about it. And the owner's note there is an interesting one because sports are a results-oriented business. And when the results don't show, you could follow your process. And Nico Harrison continued to repeat himself that they wanted to, build a championship contender now, and that defense wins championships now, and all of this stuff. But when the record and when things aren't going the way that they should be, this is what happens to. So I it almost feels too late because the damage is already done. Like the trade for Luka never made sense. Like they never shopped it. Nobody ever knew that he was available. They got Anthony Davis, who's only played like 9 games, I think, since that
He got hurt as soon as he got there. Yeah,
Out of
Well, it was
that's
hurt.
ridiculous. It is truly a head scratching trade, and it makes you look at the trade that went down here in Cleveland back in 2022, and kind of makes you wonder, well, why are the people that made that trade still employed?
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do what that kid in Dallas did that got Nico Harrison fired in the first place. So if people didn't see this, there was a kid who I believe his parents have season tickets like 4 or 5 rows back of the Mavericks bench. So he's normally like pretty close to Dupont. Is that the owner's last name? Dumont. Something French.
Yes, Patrick Dumont.
Dumont, yeah, something from the Creole area. So this kid puts on a Luka Lakers jersey and like wore it to a couple of games, then goes down before a game and actually goes, I'm gonna apologize to the owner because I like flipped him the bird one time. I'm pretty sure he saw it. Like everyone's chanting "F you, kill this guy, kill that guy." Like that's not good, right? So he goes down and sits with him and he apologizes to the owner for his behavior, but he's like, hey, like just like you gotta understand, like this trade hurts everyone. Like Luka was our star, like everyone came on opening night 7 years in a row to watch a guy like Luka. And the owner was like, hey, I'm gonna be honest. We messed that up. Like, just so you know, like we totally screwed the pooch. So I am going to wear a Baker Mayfield Buccaneers jersey and try to get as close to Jimmy Haslam's suite as I can on Sunday in hopes that I can do a little apology trade with him.
There won't be many fans in the stands.
Yes,
so
that's what I'm saying. I can get pretty close,
it
right?
It might work to your advantage. It's going to be pretty empty in there. I think you could currently get tickets to a mid-November Browns game for like $10.
Let me see what they're going for right now.
And the
Rob,
weather's not going to be horrible, I don't think.
Was this move necessary for the Mavericks? Was this a little too soon, you think? They need to see what they have at Cooper Flag. Or does this come as a surprise at all to you?
This is not a surprise at all. It was a terrible move. He deserved to be fired, honestly, at the end of last season.
It's something that'll never line up. You trade. It was something that would be great. It would be a great trade on 2K if you could turn off the injuries. It would be a great trade. Like, you could get a better player, you add him in, you get Cooper Flag with it, and then all of a sudden, like, his potential is just automatically going to be reached. He's the player you will think he will be, but that's going to realistically take some time for him to get there. There's a jump, and he wasn't always this scorer that's just going to come in and just turn the franchise around. Like, his defense will translate, his hustle, his rebounding, a little bit of his facilitating. But it's going to take a while for him to be that guy. By the time he gets there, Anthony Davis probably won't be there. He might injury retire. Like, he's going to be a guy that's in and out. Kyrie Irving missing half the season. He's been a guy hampered with injuries. Klay Thompson, not at all what he once was as a player. And then
you got his power zapped.
Naming the rest of the guys on the team.
You got
like
Meg, though.
Max Christie, PJ Washington. Like, this isn't a team that's going to go far, and the record reflects that. And Luka Doncic has been in and out of the Lakers lineup, but he's still Luka. He's still going 40, 10, and 10, and that's a team that benefited from it, and obviously just one of the worst trades I've seen in my life.
It's also objectively hilarious how he gets the one pick back for Luka Doncic, and like he had no clue what it was going to become. And he's like, "See, guys, I had a plan all along. Like, it was a 1% chance in the lottery."
Like a 12, and then that turns into
unreal gaslighting.
Whoever.
When I first saw this, kind of one of the things that popped in my mind. I go back to the NBA lottery, and everybody thought it was rigged. Does this kind of make it seem like it wasn't rigged? Because think about it. If it was rigged,
there's a cold envelope.
And Nico Harrison knew that, well, if I trade Luka Doncic, I'm going to get the #1 pick. Well, then maybe they wouldn't have fired him this fast.
There's also a conspiracy that's going around that the Mavericks just straight up don't care and that they want to be the team that moves to go to Vegas. So there's just
because Cuban's out now, right?
Yeah, Cuban's out. Like, there's a new ownership group. Like, it's all weird. And the same thing, like, there's a conspiracy going around with the Pelicans too. Like, the Pelicans didn't do a single promotion.
Actually be, though.
They didn't do a single promotion on their schedule. Like, bobblehead night, no bobblehead night, no rally towels, nothing. They're one of the
not even
worst
a
teams in the
fucking
league.
magnet to put on the fridge.
They're completely
on opening
mailing
night.
it. And it kind of seems like maybe the Mavericks are doing the same thing. Like, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, Anthony Davis is closer to retirement than he is contending for a championship. Cooper Flag is young and really promising, but that's going to take a little bit of time. It always does. And then the rest, Kyrie's old and in and out. Like, I just don't see how it ever made any sense to do that.
No, like going for like Kyrie, AD, and Klay at those ages is like when the Nets teamed up like Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett when they were like 85 years old. But quick note back, because Nick mentioned earlier that we could all get into the Browns game very easily if we wanted to go try and entice Jimmy Haslam to fire everyone below him. We went to McDonald's as a group yesterday. I paid $10.25 for my quarter pounder and cheese meal, $9 to get into Huntington Bank Field on Sunday. Great seats still available.
Yeah. Both, if not cooked right, can make you throw up, by the way.
Oh, it was close. It was close.
All right, Rob, have we seen the last of the great Anthony Davis in terms of the player we once knew and loved?
When he plays, he'll always be good, but it'll just you're never gonna see the consistency. Like, he's too, like, when you play basketball that long, like, he's been playing it probably since he was 5. It's to the point where his body's just broken down. He'll be a great player. It'll be like Kawhi. When he gets out there, it'll be like, dang, you'll have that stretch of X games where he's doing great things, but it's past him, and he'll never be able to play like over like 50 games in a year, whatever it may have you. And then building your whole team around him is this guy that you need to be out there all the time is just forever going to be a risk. Same thing with guys like Embiid, Paul George nowadays. It just happens to guys. I think Anthony Davis is like 34, 35. Like, he's getting up there. That's how it gets.
That's
It's also crazy.
It is what happens with like those fringe 7-foot guys. Like, when you hit that age, like you're just in and out of the line. Like that, it is just like an inherited piece
Boogie
of.
Cousins had a similar drop.
Yeah.
Where it just the injuries take over. He plays a physical style of ball. He's got to block shots. He's got to bang in the post. He's got to dunk on guys. Like, he lands and rolls the ankle. There you go. 2 weeks. Like, it's just stuff like that. It becomes more and more likely the longer you play.
Well, primes don't last forever, unless you're Garage Beer, because Garage Beer is always in its prime. Garage Beer comes in just 2 flavors, classic light lager as well as that classic lime. No frills, no bitterness, no IPs. It's just beer the way you want beer to taste, and that's, of course, beer-flavored beer. So scan the QR code now or go give their website a visit, drinkgaragebeer.com, to find local retailers who sell garage beer near you. Again, that is drinkgaragebeer.com. All right, we're flipping over to our Cleveland Browns. Browns are not opening the 21-day practice window for one Deshaun Watson. Not yet, at least. That's according to Mary Kay Cabot. We know on Monday, Kevin Stefanski didn't immediately dismiss it as a possibility then with the good quote of, "I'm not sure if that's what we're doing." That one went a little bit viral, but the Browns will now wait until at least week 12 against the Las Vegas Raiders to designate Deshaun Watson for a return from the PUP list. Mary Kay Cabot says a reason not to pull the plug on Gabriel yet. We're flipping over to the discussion of Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. But she says a reason not to pull the plug on Gabriel yet is because 8 starts is too much for Sanders, their 5th-round pick, when their 3rd-round pick has only gotten 5. She then goes on to say, well, if Sanders isn't any better, if he's worse, 8 games is a long stretch to endure ineffective quarterback play, hinting that in that scenario, they could potentially go to practice squatter Bailey Zappi or go back to Deshaun Watson. My question to you all, and this is another
I have a question for you first, Ryan,
So
before we can get to that. Yeah, well, what the hell is the difference? So, like, we can't have 8 weeks of ineffective quarterback play. The hell have the last 3 years been?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what?
What has it been since the
Yeah, what do we do?
It,
How much worse is it going to
the
get?
reporting, it gives me a headache, bro, because they like gaslight you so badly, and they get you thinking this stuff makes sense, but it makes no sense.
What is Dylan Gabriel throwing a
haven't
ball 85 feet over Malachi Corley's head called?
Haven't had
More
good
effective
day-
quarterback play?
ever since bro threw it to Anthony Schwartz and he got his shoulder disrupted. Like, I haven't seen a consistent quarterback play since 2021, 2022. This is the last time I've seen it. So what's 8 games?
Yeah, what's 8 more games?
Bro, I don't get it.
So here's my thought about this, right? I think they're going to open, like, that Kevin non-answer was weird, and I don't think that got enough play. I think they're probably going to open the practice window for Deshaun next week. So that's kind of my read on it. He had that cryptic Instagram post that went out that said, like, took so long to get to this point or whatever. I think they're going to open it. Again, that's a 21-day practice window, though. That doesn't mean that he's going to make the immediate next start. Like, that's just that they're going to give him time. It feels like they know that the Dylan Gabriel thing can't go on much longer, and they're trying to get their ducks in a row to figure out what's next. Because my read on the entire situation, like, from the year started, they thought they miscalculated where they were at, again. They thought that they could be good this year and could win some games early, and that's why they started Flacco. When that didn't happen, they immediately panicked and thrust Dylan Gabriel in there. They thought he was going to be good because of the supercomputer and all this stuff. And now that he's not good, they're trying to find out how long that they could continue to tread water with the guy before they have to make some sort of decision, whether it's going to be Shedeur, whether it's going to be Deshaun. And here's my reply to Kevin, to the Browns, saying that Shedeur's not ready. When have you ever cared about that? Was Dorian Thompson-Robinson ready 30 minutes before the game when you played the Ravens and he got exposed?
We're
Is
getting
Dylan
gaslighted.
Gabriel ready right now?
We're getting gaslighted. I'm just
To
saying.
play devil's advocate,
All they
could it
do
be
is
to the
just-
point where, well, they really are invested in Shedeur Sanders and want to right their wrongs?
They're
If
not.
they were invested in him, he would have gotten 1 snap with a wider, like the top
Right.
team in the offseason.
Because here's why. He was
He
a
doesn't
fit.
even say the kid's name, like, ever. Like,
Right.
He doesn't answer questions. He's frankly disgusted he's in the quarterback room is what it seems.
Jimmy's going to have to walkie-talkie down to the
No. So to Jack's point there, he's not getting a fair shake at practice. We know that. That's public. That's out there. All we ever hear is that in the 10 minutes that the media gets where they're not even
ready.
They're not even allowed to record. The media says that he looks good in that 10-minute open, but there's been no detailed reporting on what's really going on.
He's
What
throwing
is
the
he
trash
working
cans
on?
on the sideline
What's the
in practice.
development? Like, so the truth of the matter is, and I think we'd all agree on this, for whatever reason, the NFL doesn't think very highly of Shedeur Sanders. He fell to the 5th round. He's a guy that, has a lot of the off the field, fanfare and all of this. If they blow this thing up in 9 weeks, 10 weeks, like we're anticipating, and Andrew Berry's gone and Kevin Stefanski's gone, you're never going to get a look at Shedeur Sanders. If they don't play him this year, the new head coach, the new GM, they're going to just jettison him right off the roster. It's a 5th-round pick. 5th-round picks get cut all the time. They're not going to want that fanfare, that distraction around, as they probably will go out and get a veteran quarterback. Then they're going to draft their own rookie and really strip this thing down and bring in their own guys. So we've got to get a look at Shedeur Sanders this year, because if we don't, we'll never know what it could potentially be.
So what I'm gathering is, and I'm not saying you guys are wrong, because I try to think from every aspect, every angle, and I shouldn't give the Browns the benefit of the doubt. Why have they ever deserved
Don't.
it? But so then basically what we're saying is, we're boiling it down to, is the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders for jersey sales.
Yeah, I think that's what I think if it was up to Kevin and
sold a
AB,
couple
he would get
extra
one
preseason
Joe Milton
tickets.
game at the end of the year to try and flip him for a pick. I think that's what like their
Play
intention
him
would
for
be.
one game this cities, because then what are we doing for the next 2 months?
He's the
before that?
Connor Shaw of this year.
And I don't know that it was
gotta
like
play him,
just
bro.
for jersey sales. Like I genuinely think Andrew Berry hates 6th and 7th round picks because they eat up his time that he could be working the phone for free agents. I really think that he just said screw the 6th and 7th round and then got him on the phone and said, you know what, whatever, it's a value pick. Nobody thought he was going to be here in the 5th round. He is. I'll put an end to it. And I don't think I genuinely am not going to give them any credit that there was any further planning than that. That it was just that simple.
I think that's giving them too much credit. I think Jimmy Walkie-Talkie would
I
take
don't
the
even
kid.
think so. I don't think that he did, man. I think that,
Really? You don't think Jimmy had any?
I think that they couldn't ignore.
What about Jimmy Haslam's passes told you that Jimmy Haslam would not butt in and do something like that, though?
They took the guy to dinner. Like, they spent a lot of time with him. They went out to Colorado. They met with him and Travis together. And I just genuinely don't believe they ever had any interest in drafting him. But the 5th round rolled around, and he knew that he didn't want to work the rest of day 3 because he wanted to get some UDFAs in. I'm sure he was working the Isaiah Bond stuff, the Aiden Huntington stuff in the late day 3. So he just said, you know what, whatever, I'll draft Shedeur. And there was no further planning outside of that because they genuinely, again, and I can't repeat myself enough, they genuinely liked Dylan Gabriel. Like, they genuinely thought that Dylan Gabriel was good.
If you have 85 holes on your roster, how are you taking 2 quarterbacks and 2 running
Because
backs?
they figured that it's a 5th round pick. It doesn't matter. We're going to be better anyway. They spent all offseason telling everybody we're going to be back to 2023 anyway. So a 5th round pick, it's a kid that we like. We met with him. We met with his father. We met with his college teammate. We took him to dinner. We like him. He's a 5th round pick. He's going to be around the organization. We're going to develop him up in the background. There was no further planning. I don't give them any credit for anything anymore. Like, what have they done to deserve it? I genuinely think it was, here's a name that we met with and we did extensive research on. We took a guy 50 slots ahead of him that we actually really like and we have an intention on getting ready to play this year. If Shedeur plays, cool. If he doesn't, whatever. It's not part of the plan because we're going to be good with Flacco and Gabriel.
That's
Like,
so
I
stupid.
genuinely think that was their thought process because that's what was communicated, was it not?
So do we think then in this scenario is what I'm hearing from you guys that we will be seeing and or Deshaun Watson, Bailey Zappi before we see, if at all, Shedeur Sanders?
No. Why would that happen?
Well, that's what it sounds like.
No,
that you
I
guys
don't
are
agree.
saying.
I don't agree with that at all.
I think they'll play. They
Didn't you
should.
but then you just say we won't see Shedeur Sanders play?
They
I
should
didn't
play.
say that. Jack said that.
They
that
should
would
play
get one
Shedeur
game.
over Deshaun and
That's if they do that,
Zappi.
it's gonna get. You think it's ugly now? It'll get ridiculous.
Right.
He'll play at least. It should be at least minimum as many games as Dylan.
like
Gabriel.
nationally,
Minimum.
you have people, and I know there's like Dan Orlovsky, which for a second, can we also give credence to the investigative reporters on social media that have unearthed that Dan Orlovsky and Kevin Stefanski have the same agent? So
Roberto Shenanigans,
yeah, so like
internet legend.
Because did you hear me? Oh, the
That was-
Giants need a hard-nosed coach that's going to lay the law down and be that guy. I got a guy, Kevin Stefanski. Have you turned your TV on in the last 5 years, Dan? Are you kidding me, bro?
he said they need somebody
you
to
serious?
develop Jackson Dart.
Oh, like,
what?
this
He
is-
said there's empirical data. What
That's your man's,
empirical
though,
data
bro.
am I missing?
No, this is-
Someone please send it.
No, because-
1501 North Marginal Road, Cleveland, Ohio,
No, 'cause he
Burke
gets-
Lakefront Airport. Call to Nick Padone. I will gladly accept the empirical data
Two-time
that
coach of the
supports
year,
that Kevin
man.
Stefanski is a good football coach
Two-time
over
coach
the
of the
last
year.
3 years, and also to include in that empirical data what quarterbacks has he developed. He won games with PJ Walker. Yeah, where's PJ Walker? The St. Louis Battlehawks?
Philip.
I'm just sick of the
The
mental
empirical
gymnastics. You see,
data.
you see what they were going back and forth about for like when they were talking about who did what, the drafting. Like, it's all stupid because you can't figure it out because there's no rhyme or reason. It's all just ridiculous, bro.
Do you think they just Mad Libs the
You
offseason?
sit here and you get tired thinking about it. You get yourself mad when the people literally have nothing going on up here and they're just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks, bro. How would it make sense to draft 2 running backs and 2 quarterbacks when the team is awful? It doesn't.
They thought they were going to be good. That's
No, they
why.
didn't. No, they
They
didn't, bro.
grossly
I don't
miscalculated
even
where they
believe-
were at.
I don't even
they
believe that anymore,
They
bro.
needed a wide receiver.
They
so
thought that
bad.
was it, bro.
They
They
needed
thought
a
that was
wide
the move,
receiver
bro.
like oxygen. And
They
I
brought
get
in
that.
Deontay Johnson, dude.
Travis Hunter's out for the year. I get that. The solution was to trade back for an interior defensive tackle. They genuinely believed they were going to be good. They genuinely believed that they were going to be a playoff team. They spent all offseason saying it.
I don't buy that.
Jimmy Haslam said 3 wins isn't going to cut it. They might not even hit 3 wins.
I think at the
I bet
best,
on it.
they thought they might win like 5
So the
games.
shit in August.
I think, bro, but they... I'm off it, bro. I hate talking about these guys anymore, bro. Just put Shedeur in the game. If they don't give us that, at least, that I've sat here and I've stuck through this and I've watched every game, if I can't get at least like 4 starts from Shedeur.
So you don't like my Joe Milton theory?
No.
I could see them doing it, though. I'm not saying it's what I want to happen.
I don't know why they would do that. So then what do we do for the next 8-9 weeks before the last game?
I think they go. Ryan mentions the sunken cost fallacy. I think you give Dylan 2 more weeks. I think they roll the garbage can back out a couple more times just to. I don't agree. It's going to be. They might try and burn the stadium because of it, but
They're
like
not that stupid, bro. The season's already dead. If
They
Shedeur is
do.
as bad as they say, it would be smart to put him in the game because then we would just further and further climb up the draft board.
All right. Well,
And it would prove their point.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, you guys wanted him so bad. Here he is.
It's a win-win-win. They could say, oh, he's as bad as we said, and you're losing games, and you're getting a higher pick, or he's good. Stats of win-win-win. Why not put him in the game?
Yeah, but here's the
then
thing.
the
If
new
he's
GM can make a new pick.
If he's good, then we're gonna look at him and be like, well, you guys are morons, and we wasted the first 9 games.
At the top,
of the
Jimmy
season.
will be okay, and people will actually go to the games. The only lose is you don't put him in the game, and we don't figure out what he's got, and then we just wasted time and effort and energy, or you made your jersey sales, but whatever, bro.
I just resigned back to you have 9 more weeks of this. You probably really only want Shedeur for 4 or 5 games, and the off chance it goes off the rails. Well, then you have maybe 1-2 more games you have to suffer.
And that's when I could see Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
That's probably
then I'm
the
not turning
logical
on
way
the
to do
TV
it.
on Sunday.
Let's pull up this schedule real quick. That's probably because for whatever reason, hell or high water,
It's Vegas, big bro.
they're gonna start Gabriel at home.
It's literally next week.
That's gonna be like a road game, by the way. Like the Boo Birds are gonna be out in that first drive if they don't. I don't know why they're starting this kid again this week, but whatever. All right, Raiders. Is that the first look at Shedeur Sanders?
It should be.
All right, so then if Ryan
who
Sanders
comes home after? Who do we have after that?
So we got the Raiders,
49ers
and then the Niners in Cleveland, and then the Titans in Cleveland,
That's probably your stretch.
and then the Chicago Bears, the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Bengals.
I mean that Titans game. I mean, I always said 4 or 5 games is the bare minimum of what I want to see for Shedeur Sanders. Are you at home versus Tennessee?
Yep.
yeah.
We're waiting 3 more weeks.
I mean, what do you want? Like, I get it. I don't want to see Dylan Gabriel play quarterback either, but you're kind of with the hand you're dealt with. Like,
You got 2 other guys. We just said it.
They genuinely
did deal their
Give a
own
look
hand,
at-
though.
I know,
They-
but
again, they
my whole
genuinely thought
but my whole
Dylan
point
Gabriel was gonna be good.
my
I
whole
can't
point
get
of
past
my whole
that.
point of the argument is one, if you start Bailey Zappi, you're not starting Deshaun, but if you start Bailey Zappi, well then you're right. The floodgates get even worse. Like people
We're
are you're
tanking.
starting this dude over Shedeur Sanders.
No, I'm saying put him in now, and then if he's bad, you get your 4 or 5. Then put one of the trash cans in at the end of the season.
Okay,
But
I
if
see
you're
what you
Kevin
mean.
Stefanski and them,
Right, which we've
talked
done
about it
His
before.
job
That's
is
nothing new.
cooked. We've done it before.
I mean, we've said Kevin Stefanski's job has been cooked 900 times, and I know we've gone back to it's going to wait till the end of the season, but
It's like a cat.
we don't know what happens.
well, then if he's safe, then it doesn't
That
matter.
fucker
Then they're
lands
just like,
on his
oh
feet
man,
every
Kev,
single
we
time.
did you wrong again. We'll get you a new guy next year. We'll get you
I
the
don't
guy
know,
at the
man.
top of the draft.
Nobody knows what happens in Berea because they just do things their own way and it never works out.
This is
All right, we got to
nasty.
move on. We're talking about NFL news and notes. We start here. Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter underwent season-ending knee surgery, the former number 2 overall pick. Tried to play both ways, did it a little bit. However, he's placed him on IR on Halloween. We now know his rookie campaign is over. On offense, he caught just 28 passes for 298 yards and 1 touchdown. Never want to see somebody go down with the season-ending injury, especially somebody as electric as Travis Hunter. But we talk about what it means for our Cleveland Browns, and Jacksonville certainly worse without a guy like Travis Hunter at the helm.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people will point to, does it really matter? Like he hasn't really had a super eye-catching rookie season, and it has been one of the letdowns across the league. I really think like when you look at, he was supposed to be like the story of this rookie class, and he has just not lived up to that. Neither has Cam Ward, by the way.
Can we just take a minute? And I've said this.
No one talks about Cam Ward.
No.
Can we just stop with the generational labels every year? It's so ridiculous.
Oh, you don't like what you see out of Abdul Carter?
It's just like it's absurd to me how many people every single
They
year.
gotta
No,
sell-
Ryan,
they
I
gotta
agree
sell
with
the
you
articles
as a
in the
practice.
video.
Like, do we not know what generational means?
They gotta
No,
draft.
no, but I
They
do
gotta
draft in
sell it.
general.
They gotta sell it, bro. They gotta sell
Yeah,
it.
But
the
in
draft-
a way, like I think you're right 99% of the time, but I do think he is a one-case scenario where if he was able to go both ways like that, like, and if he still could, obviously, like he was only a rookie, but like that could be a generational label if he can truly play both ways. Like I get why that guy was getting.
Well,
it.
here's the thing. Permanently playing one side of the ball after this.
He did it.
You think
though.
so?
He
And
did
is it still generational, even if you're just average at both places? Just because you play both places?
No.
The whole thing was he was
No.
supposed to be great, but
Right.
No,
obviously we're
and
not
he
seeing
was
that.
average
And it was
at both.
generational in college.
And
It was
the
something
fact of the
we
matter was, he was average at both this year, but he was still doing both. So, like, for the Jaguars, and we're talking about this draft pick, like, it is still a hole at wide receiver and DB for Jacksonville. We know just how shaky they felt about their defensive backfield when they picked up the phone and called Andrew Berry again and got Greg Newsome out there. So, there is definitely a bit of weirdness. And you look at that Titans schedule, they got some winnable games because they've got Tennessee twice, but you also have the Indianapolis Colts twice, who are first place in the AFC right now. You still have the Denver Broncos on that schedule. You still have the Los Angeles Chargers on that schedule. So there's some baked in losses. And for the people that hate watch Jacksonville every week, as you should for this Browns draft pick, you could be looking at a high teens, low 20s for sure.
Last 10 NFL #1 draft picks. And nobody called Cam Ward generational. That's fine. Caleb Williams was called generational.
He
over
was.
and over
Yeah.
Again. Playing better this year. Great record with Ben Johnson. Looking to
Having a
go to the
good year.
playoffs. Time can tell. Okay, whatever. Bryce Young, he wasn't called generational, but bad. Trayvon Walker, again, not called generational, but that's a bust.
Good
Trevor
effort.
Lawrence, the promised prince. The
Yeah, he
promised
was
prince out of South
generational.
Carolina, generational. Joe Burrow.
Dog.
I don't
He
know if
got
I'd
it.
call him generational because he's injured all the
He
time.
wasn't. He was a
He's
good
generational.
prospect.
Yeah, he's pretty
He's
damn good.
generational.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray, 2019.
I don't think anyone gave him
I don't think anybody
generational.
gave him, but
I
nobody
won't
gave
say
Baker
bust. He
Mayfield
made a
generational.
Pro Bowl.
Really, the last pick,
Average.
the last pick,
Guardian.
the last pick, that was,
Guardian.
the last draft pick that was. I can make the argument about Joe Burrow just because of
Miles
the way his
Garrett.
career's gone because of injury. But yeah, the last draft pick that has actually been generational, in my opinion, is you go back to 2017. That's Miles Garrett.
No, I'm still giving Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think
generational.
Joe Burrow's up there.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a good kid.
And I think Trevor,
No,
this is going to be a hot take.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I can
that's
already
a
tell.
hot
about to
take.
be
That's
a
a hot
bad
take.
take.
Trevor
probably a
Lawrence,
bad
Trevor
take.
with
Where are
Lawrence
you
has
going?
not been generational, but if the Jaguars and Liam Cohen and James Gladstone decide that they're going to bring in their own guy, we've spent so much time the year of the retread quarterback with Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the souped up version of all of that, because I think if you actually got that guy into a good offense, with a good head coach
So
and
we're
a
saying
team
Los
that's ready to
Angeles
contend,
Ram, Trevor Lawrence.
bro, it'd be over.
Oh,
if,
with
if they
McVay?
let McVay get his hands on him with Puka and that run game, stop.
I don't know, man. I was so bought in on Trevor Lawrence. I've watched him play for the last 6 years, and you can make all the excuses. He's just not lived up to
Every
any of
now
the
and
potential.
again, I
He could
throw
be
on.
Sam Darnold with aura.
Every now and again, I throw on
Yeah,
that
but what
comeback
is
that he
that?
had
Trevor
in the
Lawrence
playoffs
doesn't even
against the
have one.
Chargers.
Trevor Lawrence
good.
has
Was
zero
Josh
awards.
Dobbs involved in that, one of those games?
Not in the
In that,
playoffs, no.
Maybe they had to beat Josh Dobbs to get into the playoffs
Yeah.
that year. I think
So
that's what it was.
what are
Never
people?
mind.
What's the discourse on Cam Ward right now? Because I was
Nationally?
seeing the Dylan Gabriel is better than Cam Ward.
Yeah,
this
he's
season.
like the most quiet first overall pick ever. Because I feel like
He's drafted to a bad team that had a bad head coach, and now they have dysfunction.
I still
Like,
think he's
yeah.
going to be a good
Yeah,
quarterback.
I mean, you've
I
seen
still
flat
do.
guys I think of the average.
That's
like,
real
No,
arm
I've seen
talent.
Cam Ward would make some disgusting
Real
plays.
arm
Are they
talent.
consistent? No, but you see the flashes.
Yeah.
If somebody can fix him, then it could work out.
can I get a room litmus test on Bryce Young? Just a thumbs up, thumbs down.
He's
I'll give
short.
it a slight thumbs up.
He's short. I mean,
Bryce Young
Bryce
after
Young guy.
that first pick goes fed. He just loves the clutch moments, but mid quarterback.
all right, guys. Well, it seems like this story just pops up every single year. It's just a different team. Jameis Winston has leapfrogged Russell Wilson on the Giants depth chart. According to Baltimore
Game of
Post,
the week.
Jameis
Who do they
Winston's
even
now the
play?
number 2 quarterback on the Giants depth chart. Jackson Dart unlikely to start next week on Sunday against the Packers
Wait,
due
he's
to
hurt?
concussion.
Flex this in the prime time, dude.
Jameis Winston potentially starting for the Giants. I want to talk about this with you guys because I didn't have the opportunity when Brian Dable got fired.
Brown.
I'm sure
Against
you guys,
the Packers.
I'm sure you guys talked about it. I didn't like the firing of Brian Dable, and I'll tell you why. Giants, I guess I understand the move. The results aren't there. We talked about it. I just read the letter from the GM of or the owner of the Mavericks. When the results aren't there, you have to take action. Brian Dable hasn't gotten it done the last few years. But I would have liked to see him next year with the full offseason again of Jackson Dart. Like, Jackson Dart has looked good. You look at the Giants games.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have lost that Denver game. I understand. You put that on the head coach. You should have won the Bears game. Jackson Dart goes out. You have a multiple touchdown lead, and that goes kaput. But, you lose Cam Scatterboot. The Giants, and you don't have Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart is going to be good, if anything, if he can stay healthy. I've already seen him play a handful of games, and I was wrong. Jackson Dart looks to fit the part of an NFL quarterback. Brian Dable's the reason that he's in New York, right? He was the guy that he handpicked.
Yep.
I think he likes Brian Dable. I hear all the talk about them them watching film together, talking for hours on the phone. I wonder what Jackson Dart thinks about this decision. I think you should have gave Brian Dable the next year with a fully healthy team, given an offseason. Jackson Dart has NFL starts under his belt. I thought they could have cooked something.
If the Giants want Kevin Stefanski for, again, just send the empirical data, I'll gladly take Brian Dable as OC with whatever we construct next year with like a rookie quarterback. That'd be perfect.
Let's just bring in the Bryans, Brian Flores and Brian Dable.
I wouldn't have fired him just because there's been hope this year.
Dude, Jackson
that's
Dart
what I
looks great.
There's been hope.
You beat the Eagles on primetime for the first time in, I think, 15 plus years.
It's
like, that just isn't a fluke. You bring in Jackson Dart and that immediately happens. Cam Scattaboo is one of the most
and
lightning
they've dealt
players
with
in the
so
NFL.
many injuries.
Like, if you were going to can Brian Dable, you should have done it last year.
Yeah.
Like, you let him pick his quarterback. His quarterback actually looks to fit the part. Now you fire him. I don't agree with this.
It would be like, remember the back half of the year we had Baker's rookie year, where all of a sudden things started like really looking good. It would be like if that was our front half and then we fired Hugh at the halfway point. Like, it wouldn't make sense. We had a couple more wins, but there's real hope out there in New York. A lot of injuries. Like, if Jackson Dart still had Malik Neighbors and Cam Scattaboo playing every week, like, it could be a lot of crazy. Like, they could be a tough offense, a good, solid, competitive team. It looked like Dayball, the guys liked him, and Jackson Dart definitely liked him. But, and that's someone who's proved he could work with a quarterback like that with Josh Allen. But
maybe it's just because of Tom Coughlin, but I do always just think of like the Giants coach being like a tough defensive dude, though. I do kind of have.
So that's
that,
why
like,
they need Kevin
stereotype in my head.
Stefanski.
Yeah, go get Kevin.
I'm sure seeing Daniel Jones blossom in Indiana didn't help. But let's
Give me
flip,
Orlovsky.
let's flip over to baseball. We just talked about a two-time coach of the year in Kevin Stefanski. I hope that isn't any omen on
No
Stephen
indication,
Vogt. Stephen
hopefully.
Vogt, Guardians manager, has repeated as AL manager of the year. He won over fellow finalist John Schneider, of course, of the AL pennant-winning Blue Jays, and Dan Wilson of the Mariners. Vogt, we know, piloted Cleveland 88 wins, second AL Central title in that many years, the biggest regular season comeback, 15.5 games to win the division. Are you guys surprised?
I actually was a little bit. Like, I can't sit here and say that I said he was going to win it all year long. I think every time you asked me on the show who I thought was going to win AL Manager of the Year, I told you Dan Wilson, who actually came in third place and really didn't get that many first place votes. But I do feel like, I don't know, like, obviously the voters don't weigh in the playoffs, so there's nothing going on with that. But maybe they just knew the whole time that the Class San Ortiz news was going to come out, and they were like, bam, it's definitely correct. But it's such an honor, dude, and he so deserves it. I think Chris Jimenez talked about it on The Factor the one time we had him on. Like, this was before we even made the playoff push. This was back when we were sitting around 500. He deserves it more this year than he did last year in the first place. Like, what he was able to do with that group, the way to get them to rally back, like all the injuries this team went through. It's ridiculous that they were even close to where they were. The move of the year in the MLB for a manager was him deciding to go to the 6-man rotation for September. So yeah, Voter deserves it. And it's kind of crazy because like the general discourse is there's more managers being hired around baseball is like everyone's going so young now. Like these kind of moves are working out though. Like I know Pat Murphy is an older dude. He was a former Notre Dame coach, actually, who is the 2-time coach of the year now for the Brewers in a row. But overall, a lot of these young hires, like Kai Correa, got hired off. Like the sport of baseball is moving in the younger direction after guys like Gabe Kapler tried to set back the younger generation.
Dude, like, has anyone ever deserved an award more, though, than Stephen Vogt winning this? Just like with the cards that he was dealt this year, and then to come back from 15.5 games, like that doesn't, and to win Manager of the Year twice in your first 2 seasons as manager when you were a former player that fast-tracked to manager, like, this doesn't happen elsewhere, guys. And this just proves that the Guardians, unlike some of the other teams in town, like, they absolutely aced the Terry Francona replacement. And like, there was a small piece of me, I'll admit, like, and we've talked about this on the show before, like, in Tito's last year, I was completely done. Like I thought there were so many decisions. He stuck with the vets for too long.
Ahmed Rosario was stapled to the 2-hole. Like his ass was just planted in the 2-hole.
There was so much proof that showed like that the young kids needed to be in there, and Terry just refused to do it. And he's a legend, and like he knows way more about.
We tried Oscar Mercado for the 10,000th time.
And like Francona knows more about baseball than I know in my little pinky finger, so I can't disparage him too much. And there was a piece of me that was worried, even though I disagreed with some of the decisions that he made in the last year. I was like, man, this could be the end of an era, just because like from when he was hired on, the Guardians were the most winning team in the American League. I was like, yeah, if we even lose a bit of that special sauce, like this could be dire days, because we know that they don't spend. We know that the front office has their hits on trades, but they've also had their misses, which have been documented. And I was like, if you don't hit on this manager thing, like it could really be the end of an era. But Stephen Vogt has been better than Terry Francona, and it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think especially if you look at like the post Mike Hargrove era, you saw a couple of misses in a row when you go out and get Eric Wedge, who did make a playoff run, but ultimately blew a 3-1 lead in the ALCS, and then Manny Acta, who is just a terrible hire across the board. Remembered for his bowling charity outings. I think that was Manny Acta's biggest impact on his time in Cleveland, Ohio. Like to go out and actually finally nail a hire back-to-back right after that with Francona is just ridiculous. And you're right, because like when you don't have, like, look at friggin' Derek Shelton and the Pirates, like what they did for the last a billion years in a row when they just kept being a 70-win baseball team. Like if you don't have the funds, you don't have the ownership, like you absolutely need the manager, and the Twins are screwed now with Derek Shelton.
Well, in the National League, it's Brewers manager Pat Murphy who wins that NL Manager of the Year award. He also goes back-to-back. I wonder if there's ever been a year where managers it seems like you know the answer to that.
No, but I was going to say it's kind of dope because most people in Cleveland hate Craig Counsell, who had one of the big hits in the 97 World Series. He was a guy who actually brought Pat Murphy into Milwaukee because Murphy was Counsell's coach when he was at Notre Dame back in the 80s. So like they were like buddies. He got him up into the big leagues. He was at Arizona State for a long time. Like Pat Murphy was nowhere near the MLB until the mid-2000s, despite being like what the Nick Saban of college baseball, basically. And then Counsell decides, I'm going to go take more money to go to the Cubs, does what he does, gets knocked out this year, missed the playoffs last year. Murphy gets back-to-back Manager of the Year. So awesome for Clevelanders.
Ryan, by the way, I think Kevin Cash went back-to-back.
Right, but
Kevin Cash went back-to-back? Good for him.
No, he did, but I'm saying, has there ever been a time, because this year the AL went back-to-back and the NL.
Yeah, both leagues going back-to-back at the same time.
Went back-to-back. I wonder if that's ever
I think Bobby Cox went back. No, because I saw the list of other back-to-back winners. I don't think there were any that would have been.
Well, Pat Murphy won the NL Manager of the Year award above our guy, Terry Francona. The Reds came in second, and Rob Thompson of the Philadelphia Phillies.
I think that was a deserving win in the NL as well.
Yeah, I think my only bone to pick is like I don't know how you just coach the Phillies and just get third. Like that team's been together for 10 years now. They spend a ton of money. Like that's like if Kalen DeBoer had gone 11-1 at Alabama in his first year, you wouldn't be like, oh shit, coach of the year.
You think you could fill out a lineup card with Schwarber,
Bryce
and
Harper, Trey Turner. Who should I send out on the mound today? Zach Wheeler? Yeah, I guess whatever. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Wow. All right, let's flip over to basketball. Our Cleveland Cavaliers. They unveil their new city collection. We'll start here.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on that?
I like the court.
I have a very interesting take about
I like
this.
the court.
The court's cool.
The jerseys are a little. Put the jerseys up.
I would give the jerseys a big doom, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like
gotta
them.
see them in light.
It's very semi-pro-ish.
The lighting here.
Yes, a little Flint
It
Tropics.
could look really good in correct lighting. Like, see, I like that color better when it's not so dark in the room.
But like, it
Compare
seems
this
more
to the
like
blue ones. Blue ones are cooler.
oh, blue are way cooler. It seems like almost like more Georgia peachy than it does like
I just
creamsicle
wish
though.
they
You
were-
know,
That's my bone to pick with it
They
too.
should have did it like the throwback orange jerseys, like the orange and
or that, or
I
yeah.
don't know why they chose this.
This
Well,
looks
because
like
it's the sunset, and the sun only sets in Cleveland, Ohio. Rob.
right. Like this would make sense if they were the Florida Cavaliers.
Yeah, if we stuck with the you know what I'm talking about, the Mark Price orange jerseys.
Yeah.
If they would have stuck with that orange, I think that looks really good. I don't know for sure what we're going for.
But I
here.
did.
Well, it's because of the Metro Parks.
So are we giving
We
them
get sun, Rob.
the boom or the doom?
I'm giving it
I'll
a
give them a
doom.
boom.
I'll give it a boom for
I'm
now.
doing
It could be worse. It could be
It
much
could be way
worse.
worse.
Could be much worse.
I do want to see it in person though before I give it like a total doom. I do
And
think you owe it
once
that look.
this is a jersey
Are you
that could
copping
be tough.
those shorts?
The shorts are
The
tough.
shorts are dope, actually.
I think these are actually big. I'm almost at big boom. I think these are kind of tough jerseys, bro. I'm selling myself on it a little bit. You
In
buy
the summer, it'd be a hit to wear in
imagine
the
a
summer.
45 Donovan Mitchell jersey in that on a summer day, just walking through the city, throwing a jersey. Cavs are in the playoffs. It's warm outside. It's
yeah.
tough.
But I'll be rocking a Darius Garland retro throwback.
That's the thing. They're gonna have a tough time with anything that they
Yeah,
put out
they're
now
not gonna
because
sell these puppies.
because the retro ones were such a hit. Like the rest, it's just gonna be hard.
People
to
are
do.
going to be begging for those in the playoffs, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're 1-0 in them. We're them again. And
Can't
again.
you only
and
wear your
again,
home
and
and away in
again.
the playoffs though, or did I make that up?
What?
Or is that a different sport?
What'd you say?
One of the sports you can only wear your actual home and away in the playoffs.
You can wear
Oh, you can wear whatever in the
one
NBA?
year we wore the black jerseys every game, and that was our alternate. We wore
Oh,
when we
yeah.
won the championship. We wore them back to back.
I wonder
to
which
back to
sport
back
it
to
is
back.
then.
All right, Nick, what do you say we tell everybody about FanDuel? Do our FanDuel parlay of the day and head everybody.
I mean, it was a good night on FanDuel last night. The one thing that we didn't talk about is the good old Kent State.
Wait, I know. How do we talk about?
Flashes,
I meant to talk about that at the top of the show. The wagon wheel.
So Zach Jackson.
Crazy
I gotta
game,
give
bro.
this
I'm not
credit.
gonna lie.
I gotta give this
Shields
credit.
legacy game.
Zach Jackson put out there a brilliant idea. Kent State versus Akron should be played every year on Thanksgiving morning at 10 a.m. Before the NFL kicks off, you got Kent Akron on national TV. They alternate stadiums every year. So next year it's at Dick's Stadium. Put that on a national audience. The Flashes will look to defend that wagon wheel. Mark Hardy's got the boys right. They're bowl out. I mean, 2 more wins. Could be going bowling this year in Kent, Ohio, Portage County. Turn up. It's NBA tip-off week. FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you just want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who's going to score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you'd even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, FanDuel is the perfect place to wager on the NBA this season because they're giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Got to be 21 plus. Present select states. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit is required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you think they'd have to cancel the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade because all the views would go over to Maction?
That's way more interesting than the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade, I'll tell you that.
Dude, that's a genius idea. Like, just put it at 10 a.m. Thanksgiving every year. Like, because there were eyeballs on it last night. Like, the timeline was talking Kent Akron. So, like, people know that it's a big rivalry here in the Midwest. You get it Thanksgiving Day morning so people could still enjoy the NFL and you could still, do the turkey and all that. It's a genius idea.
Honestly, that was one of the best games of college season.
Imagine after the game, they go to the turkey and they're like making it.
You break the leg off.
Yeah, but
Drew DeShields would have won the turkey leg in that game, that's for sure.
That would go crazy.
All right, Jack, we're going all over the
Marketing
place
plan?
in our FanDuel parlay of the day today, so you know what to do. Take it away.
Let's do it, folks. We are starting out with a little bit of action once again. Same with some football. We are going with the Rockets to walk into Oxford, Ohio, and walk out alive from the cradle of coaches at -178 on the road. Then, hey, we're heading back onto the court. Minnesota, one of the toughest basketball programs in the Power 4 that is above or near North Dakota. Yeah, and they are heading down to play Missouri. And Missouri is going to kick the dog shit out of them. We're taking Missouri money line. They're -320. They're going to get this one done. Then, hey, the Cavs are going back into Miami. You know they're not going to lose a back-to-back, but hey, we're just going to bet on them to keep this one close. Cavs +6 heading down to staying in South Beach, rather. And last but not least, the Oilers are heading into Philly. We're going to take the boys from Alberta to get this one done. McDavo and the fellas heading into Philly. Once again, Toledo money line, Missouri money line, Cavs +6, the Oil money line.
Wow, we got college
loyal to the Oil.
basketball, we got NBA, we got hockey, and we got Maction on our FanDuel parlay of the day. All right, appreciate everybody tuning in. We are out of time. We'll be back tomorrow, same people, same time. I'm Ryan Tyler. He's Jack Work. He's Nick Pannone. He's Rob Watson. Shout out Garage Beer. Shout out FanDuel. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys. Tomorrow, Thursday, football is back, and we can rejoice. Until then, enjoy the Maction. Kent State, congratulations on all of your recent success. A well-deserved wagon wheel win. We'll talk tomorrow. Peace out.
Whoa!